Hey everybody, Jonathan, Las Vegas Collectibles. No, I don't have a brick and mortar store. Yes, I sell everything online. Yes, I am a COVID-born collector, CBC. How you doing? I think a lot of us are. A lot of us came into this hobby because of COVID or returned to the hobby because of COVID. And if you're like me, you've been having a great time. And actually, I'm transitioning. I'm transitioning from having inventory because I've been selling stuff like a dealer, and I'm truly becoming a collector. I feel like I'm really narrowing down my passions. I'm trying to empty these shelves of inventory so I can put stuff up on display that I truly love and appreciate every day. I think that's going to be really cool. And once that actually happens, if it ever happens, I don't know, because I got a lot of inventory. If it ever happens, I'll share it with you and show you what I come up with. And so, anyways, that's who I am. Welcome to the channel. If you've never been here before, I do appreciate everybody that comes here. Thank you for taking time out of your day. I want to take a little bit of time and talk about Magic the Gathering. One of the reasons I came back into the hobby was Magic the Gathering. First, it was comics, love comic art, love video game art. And then Magic the Gathering is really the second reason I came in. And then sports cards. And then Marvel cards and statues and stuff like that. But, I mean, this was top two, right? Magic the Gathering. And I went full Timmy. I listened to way too many Alpha Investment Rudy talks, and I bought a bunch of sealed cases of modern stuff that will most likely be worth nothing. And I'll make videos about me taking the L on all those. And that's fine. Like, it is what it is. I participated. I bought in. And you know what? Mistakes were made, lessons were learned, and that's fine. You know, as long as you're not spending money you need on this stuff, you should be fine too. So always plan. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic. I want to talk about what's going on in Magic the Gathering, and I called it out, I believe, earlier this year in 2022. It might have been last year even. The world is trying to transition to digital assets. It's trying to transition. Okay, everybody, look, picture the world in 20 years when if you're like me in your upper 30s, you're going to be retirement age, right? So you're going to be close to 60 or in your 60s. Maybe you're in your lower 50s. And so you're getting close to retirement age. So picture the world when you retire. First of all, there's a couple little tidbits I'd like to say. I think Africa is going to be the new China. That's my big call, is Africa will unite many other countries together. And before I die, so I'm thinking in the next 40 years, a lot of African countries will unite and they will become the labor capital of the world, the labor center of the world. So that's going to be my big macro global economic call. But think about where they want us for collectibles. Think about everything that's going on, how fast technology is going every single year. It just constantly compounds and gets more and more ridiculous. Like, look at this. Look, we're on YouTube. I'm talking to you on YouTube. Like, the ability to make all of this happen in the last, how long has YouTube even existed? Less than 10 years? I don't like what is happening, right? I grew up putting coins in payphones. I took the bus. I needed an Encyclopedia Britannica to finish reports in school. Like, calculators were the most amazing form of technology I've ever seen when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up with black and white TV. So think about how fast technology is going. Wizards, Hasbro, they put it out. They wanted double. Was it double their profits? I forget exactly what it was. Watch a Rudy video, they'll tell you. Sports cards, Fanatics, they want to, increase their profits. Everybody wants to increase their profits. I mean, obviously, it's business, right? How do you do that? And how can you control the supply for products to match demand? Because paper products suck when it comes to matching supply with demand in real time. There's always a backlog. There's always a supply chain. You have to plan out so far in advance. You have to pay so many people. The best way to do it is to get people to only want digital assets, where the cost of creating the assets is nothing. It's almost nothing, right? Like, think about Magic the Gathering Arena. You know how easy it is to create those things compared to the entire supply chain process of physical Magic the Gathering cards? Think about sports cards and the collectible nature of digital assets versus physical. How much easier would it be for fanatics to simply just, like, Topps Now or Top Shot, even when that came out? Yeah, that sucks, and nobody really invests in it anymore or collects it or whatever. But how easy is that? You just take an image from what's going on, you take a picture, and then you just put it on the internet. Like, it's the simplest thing in the world. It's the simplest thing in the world. And the cost is nothing, and they can still charge so much money for it. It's ridiculous. So how do you get people to only want digital assets? Because in the future, in 20 years from now, when we're about to retire, nobody's going to have a bunch of physical stuff. Like, there'll still be physical stuff. There will, of course, be still people that want physical stuff. There's still there's still a whole group of people that love freaking calligraphy and writing with a feather pen. And they love making their own paper. You know, like from Egypt. Like, there's still groups of people that love that. So there's still going to be groups of people for all time that want a newspaper, that want to do a crossword on Sunday morning in a newspaper. There's always going to be people that want Magic the Gathering physical cards. Always. Duh. Nobody's going to argue that. But do you think that the kids born in the next decade are going to give a crap about paper compared to being able to have all this stuff in the metaverse? Or having all this stuff on their phone and they're able to just have Magic the Gathering phone? You think people are going to play Magic the Gathering in person or on Arena? In esports arenas. Look at what happens with League of Legends. Look at how much money. There are entire houses in Vegas where it's team esports houses. They literally recruit athletes, esports athletes, from high school, even junior high, and they put them up in a house, give them a monthly paycheck, and they just live in Vegas in a house with high-speed internet, and all they do is play video games, and they play on Twitch, and they make so much money just from that. They don't care about baseball or going outside or UV rays or vitamin D. They don't care about any of that. It's all digital. And everybody wants that model. Everybody wants low cost, high margin. How do you do that? You get people to stop buying your paper products. So I believe Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, Fanatics, I believe all of them fully understand what they're doing, and they are destroying the long-term, old-time players and collectors. They're destroying them because they do want new players. They do want younger players. They do want all the older players, all the 30-year-olds and above, which includes me. They want all of us to leave. They don't want to have to support WPN freaking little card shops. Everybody's fighting it and saying Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast has to turn. They have to know that they're destroying the community. They have to know that they're doing all these things. Yeah. Duh. And they're all saying how it has to, Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast has to turn a page and do all this stuff and get the old collectors and old investors and the old players back into the hobby because everybody's leaving. Everybody's leaving. They want us to leave. They want everybody who loves cardboard to leave. It's not like they're a bunch of idiots, right? They might not care about the cardboard. They might not care about you. They might not care about us. But they're not idiots. They have a plan. If they're trying to disenfranchise an entire generation of players, an entire generation of collectors and investors, there has to be a reason. What is that reason? They've told you. They've told you They want to increase their profits. They want to increase their bottom line. How do they do that? They eliminate costs and increase the prices for their products. One of their biggest costs, besides every employer's biggest cost of labor and all the crap associated with labor, which, by the way, the more people you can eliminate because of the process of printing cards and creating cards and that whole process, the more people you can eliminate, you're going to save a lot of costs in employee and employee associated liabilities like lawsuits for, he used a racial slur, he looked at me differently and he's sexually abusing me. And so you eliminate all that. You eliminate all of that associated with the paper product. Because if it's digital, it's so much easier. It's so much easier. You don't even need employees. You just contract out. You can eliminate entire groups of employees. You eliminate so much cost. And guess what? If people want to participate in Magic the Gathering arena and be competitive esports champions, they're still paying for all of those new cards. They're still paying. So they're going to have zero cost or the lowest cost possible, and they're going to still be able to charge the same amount of money, and they're going to be able to double their profits like they want. In 20 years, do you truly believe paper, cardboard product stuff will be in higher demand than digital collectibles? Like, just take a moment and breathe. Look at the last 20 years. Look at 2000 to now. In 2000, did you have a smartphone with 5G capabilities? That was 20 years ago. 22 years ago. I had no cell phone. I got my first cell phone when I was in the Army. I was in Germany in 2003, and it was a Nokia, this little blue brick with this hard little antenna on top. And I was able to play Snake on there, and I was blown away. I was like, this is the future. That was 20 years ago. 20 years ago. And everybody embraced the cell phone. Everybody loved it. And they're like, oh my God. We had Xbox LAN parties, if you know what those are. Absolutely amazing. God, what was that? 2005? 2006? Had so much fun playing Halo. The first Halo. It was amazing. And that, we thought, oh my God, this is the future. What are we on? Xbox 5? PlayStation 5 or some shit? Like, come on. What do you think is going to happen in the next 20 years? In the next 20 years, do you think people are going to still care about cardboard? There will still be a group of people, don't get me wrong. But do you think that's where companies are going to be focusing their efforts? Just kind of shut down the Timmy drama brain. Shut it down. Look at the situation that we're all in. And just breathe. First of all, remember to breathe. And think. 20 years ago, people didn't even have phones. And now we have multi-million-dollar esports competitions for video games every year. Multi-million-dollar esports competitions. Esports is in colleges. You can get scholarships for esports. When in 2003, we were excited to have Snake on a little freaking stupid phone. In 20 more years, right? If we've done this in 20 years, and technology compounds so fast, where the hell are we going to be in the next 20 years? Do you think people are still going to be playing Snake? Do you know anybody that plays Snake on an old Nokia phone? No. Nobody does that. So in 20 years from now, do you think anybody is going to be playing Magic the Gathering with cardboard? Yeah, there'll be small pockets, but do you think there'll be entire businesses? WPN? Will there be networks of stores, physical stores, where people will go in person to play with a bunch of strangers? You know how many more pandemics are going to come up with by then? Nobody's going to want to touch each other. Nobody's going to want to be in proximity. Nobody's going to want to breathe somebody else's air at that time. It's all going to be digital. We're all going to be in our freaking little houses or apartments because, I mean, the world is moving towards apartments only, right? Like, just think about it. They know what they're doing. They're destroying it on purpose. And yes, they want new blood. And they don't care if they disenfranchise and destroy everybody over the age of 30 because they want the people under the age of 30 to buy into their Magic the Gathering arena, share it on social media, tweet about it, Instagram it, TikTok about it. They want the true profit center of digital collectibles. So you can be as dramatic as you want about all the craziness. But you're right. They do know what they're doing. The only difference is you think they're going to change. But in reality, they're going to double down and go even further. Well, that's my Timmy brain. Take care, everybody.